I knew he was fucking crazy. I just watched it for the first time without getting to fiddle with it, and that's a fucking crazy movie. Thank you so much. This was such an honor, and being with you guys, feeling your reaction was just one of the coolest moments of my life, honestly. I just want to introduce a few people. I guess we're going to do a little Q&A. I want to introduce some important people. I talked about Sean McKittrick before from QC Entertainment. I've got the cinematographer Toby Oliver over here. Where is, of course, the great Jason Blum. Jason, you wanna? Oh, there you are. And we also have Bradley Whitford is here. Is Lakeith here? Lakeith, did you make it? No, he didn't make it. All right, well, he's here? All right, well, if someone sees Lakeith, tell him to come up here, but we're good.
Cool.
Okay, well, yeah, how does this work?
Yeah, so before I open up the questions to the audience, I'll just start out. I've listened to a lot of interviews and heard you talk very passionately about your kind of love of horror films, like very, very deep and deep knowledge. I wonder, coming to make your first feature horror film, were there rules that you kind of set in your mind, like what you were not going to allow yourself to do and things that you were going to force yourself to do based on that knowledge?
Yeah, I mean, you can see all my, the dozen influences, my favorite horror movies that went into this. This was something I felt like was really a missing piece in the genre. One of my favorite movies is The Stepford Wives, obviously, and the way, it's a real classic, and the way it dealt with, the social issues in regards to gender was something I just thought, like, hey, that's proof that you can pull off a movie about race that's a thriller that's just entertaining and fun and a wild ride, and I don't know. Does that answer?
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, and you mentioned that it was you wrote the script a while ago. How long ago did you write it?
I came up with the script probably about 8 years ago, actually. So the idea started when Barack Obama and Hillary were going up against each other for the Democratic nomination. And all of a sudden, like, the world was, or the country was kind of focused for a second on the black civil rights and women's civil rights movements and kind of where they intersect. And there was this question of, like, who deserves to be the president more, who's waited long enough. And of course, it's like an absurd thing that civil rights are even divided, right? It should be one civil right. But that was when the germ of the idea hit me, because, like I said, the Stepford Wives. So that it marinated for a long time, and then probably wrote the script 3 years ago, something like that.
Cool. Let's open it up. Anyone have any questions? You in the front row? Anyone?
Yeah, great film. I'm curious the relationship between humor and scares, because like horror movies make you like scream and comedies make you laugh, and this definitely made you do both. But talk about that.
Yeah, horror and comedy are very linked to me, and there's some obvious reasons. They're both about getting a physical reaction and pinpointing when that physical reaction happens. So you kind of have to know where your audience is. It's just one is a laugh, one is a scare. And some of my favorite horror movies, especially in an experience like this, really truly scary scene can get everybody to laugh. So I was very eager to use all my, the things that I've learned in comedy for horror, which is my favorite genre. But yeah, that's it. Are you using that little phone as like hey, I'm a reporter? Is that like? This is like the new version.
Yeah.
A little mini tape. Cool. Is this allowed? Are you even allowed to be recording this? I don't know how. It's okay, good. You're okay. Yeah, okay. We'll go with let the moderator choose.
I have a question for Jordan's team, I guess. When this idea was first pitched to you, what attracted you to it, and what made you want to commit to it?
Oh, I guess it's, I'd never seen this movie before. That was the first thing. Definitely never seen this movie before. And, I don't know, it's just, hadn't seen a movie about race ever. And the fact that you also wanted to make it an entertaining film. I mean, he pitched this to me over coffee, like 3 years ago.
By the way, it was like, so here's a movie that's never going to get made, right? That was how we started the conversation. By the end, he was like, let's make it. And I was like, well, fuck, damn.
Yeah, let's just, it was like an hour-long meeting, and then it was like, yeah, let's just make it, let's just do it. And then big kudos to Jason.
What am I supposed to say?
What do you think?
Well, I love, we do a bunch of horror movies, and some of the, a few of them have this, most of them don't, but my favorite kind of horror movie is a horror movie that takes, kind of uses horror to smuggle a social issue to a ton of people. And I really responded to that in this script. I love that it kind of about the Purge too. The Purge is really a movie that's about gun control, and gun control gone crazy the other way. It's a cautionary tale, and I kind of felt there were a lot of similar. There was a similar thing about a different issue in this movie, and that was what I loved about it. And that's what made me spark to it the most, I guess.
When the movie was beginning to kind of ruminate, we were in the, like I said, it started 8 years ago. And for a while, when we had a black president and we were living in this post-racial lie, right? This whole idea like, we're past it all. And for me, there were, and for many people out there, I mean, all black people know, there's racism. I experience it on an everyday basis. And so, you see like the party scene is kind of how we experienced racism for a while. And this movie was meant to sort of reveal that there's this monster of racism lurking underneath some of these kind of seemingly innocent conversations and situations. And it's been fascinating watching the last few years develop, because now, the movie's coming out in a very different America than it began. And I think it's more important now, and I think it's going to be far more interesting now. And so I really respect Universal for having the fucking balls to lean into this kind of shit. It's rare.
Yes, on behalf.
If you could talk about, between this and Cabin in the Woods, you seem to be selecting very interesting horror movies, your own connection to the genre. And Jordan, basically based on your love of all things TSA, do you expect to be treated better in the airport?
Very good question. You want to? Of course.
My attraction to this movie was my man. Jordan Peele. I begged to do like a background cross on Key and Peele. This was, when I read the script, it was rarely do you just, it's like, a forehead knocker. I mean, it was just like, oh, Jesus, yeah, why hasn't this movie been made? So it was not out of a particular attraction to the genre. It was him, and then Keener was in, and Allison. It was just this amazing cast. How great is Daniel? Jesus Christ.
Daniel Kaluuya, the lead of the movie.
And I would have voted for Obama We know that, Brad. But maybe Trump will fix the racism.
That's right. Yeah, and they can bring us together. It was very important for me, for this movie, not to be about a black guy going to the South and going to this red state where, the presumption for a lot of people is everybody's racist there. This was really meant to take a stab at the liberal elite that tends to believe we're above these things, I should say. And so, that's, Brad and Catherine are kind of like, I thought of them as like the perfect in-laws. Like, if you could imagine in-laws besides my real ones, if you could imagine in-laws that would be perfect to walk into, that would be them. And, the character that Brad developed was just so magnetic, and there's so much he gave us that couldn't make it into the film that is just absolutely hysterical. But what was your second question?
Just whether or not you fly so much, I'm wondering whether or not you're expecting a lot of love.
Oh yes, I'm expecting TSA love for this. So I did a sketch on Key and Peele where we were operatives in we were Al Qaeda. We were Al Qaeda and we were huddled up in a cave, and the whole bit was like we were like, if only it wasn't for the brilliant TSA and the regulations. If I could bring a knife bigger than this, then we would have them. And so I was afraid for a while there. I would get up to the TSA line, and somebody go, "Hey, brother, better watch yourself now." All right, you all right? So it was all good. I talk about this with my wife all the time. It's like, now I'm golden, and fuck it, little Rel Howery. That motherfucker could fly for free. He's done. This is so weird. I'm like, in comedy, if this was a comedy routine, and I was just coming down here, I would be so confident. I would bust out my fucking impressions and shit. As a director, I feel like fucking Woody Allen. I just feel so sheepish and confused and scared. Like now I get it. Now I get why they're all like swarmy, self-hating individuals. Like, yeah. Well, really, the thing is, it's, as a filmmaker, it's so fucking humbling to get in here and to see first of all, this massive group of talent and spirit and people who believe in me and who are taking this chance. I mean, can you imagine Brad stepping into this role and then it's like a no. And it goes completely wrong. If it goes wrong, it goes really fucking wrong.
Yes, it would.
Yes, it would. So the faith that you're given by these people who give me everything, it's so humbling, and it's cool.
I believe that's all the time we have, but remind everyone when the film comes out.
Film comes out February 24th.
So when it's out.
Grab a friend. Yes. No, Patton.
A bunch of us were live periscoping this in the comments.
No.
Not worry, right? Be excited. You made a great film, man.
Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.